Yes, hello, Catherine.
Hello. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Hello. Right, I'm going to try and read this. It's not very short, but it's quicker than just going on. Okay, my history is I've ended up at your door lately, having been on the spiritual path for well over a decade. First the usual route, then Michael Langford's books, Muji, Eckhart Tolle, etc. And then I found you, and I found your depth of explanation has satisfied my needs for a deeper level of understanding somehow, particularly relating to the body. So I want to ask you for your thoughts in a minute on how I should proceed. But by way of background, I'm at what you once referred to as the tropical beach. You said in response to someone's question at your latest retreat, you don't need to ask how to get a taxi to the tropical beach when you're already there. So that's where I think I am, at the tropical beach. So I realise now that I need to have conscious awareness there more as I go about my daily life and be in the, I think you term it the in it stage. So my question is this: how much should I keep watching your videos and taking part in retreat? And how much should I just concentrate now on the practice? Does there come a point where you say, stop distracting yourself with going over and over the same understanding, watching endless videos? So maybe a distraction ploy of the mind to avoid the practice? Or is it a necessary part of the teaching to keep hearing it over and over and over to keep you on track? So I'm asking really, what would you recommend for me? Should I limit the videos and just do these weekly meetings and or retreat? Or should I keep binging on your videos?
Okay. It's quite common, Catherine, in the early days when one comes across not really a new understanding, because this is not a new understanding, this is the perennial understanding that has been spoken of for millennia, but a new expression of the understanding that somehow resonates deeply with us. It's natural to begin with that one wants to get as much of it as one possibly can, because it's so exciting. Every video, every page of a book, is a new revelation. It was like that with me when I met Francis the first couple of years. It was every single conversation, although I had been exploring these matters for 20 years or so before I met him. The way he the way he explained things was so revealing to me that it was like a firework party every night. It was this revelation after revelation after. I couldn't get enough of it.
Mm.
But that was just for perhaps the first couple of years, and then after a while, the what was being spoken of was my own experience. I no longer had to go there via the teaching. I could just access the understanding in myself. It didn't mean to say that I didn't continue to learn. Of course I did. And there were always new elements and new aspects. But I became less and less um, interested. You know, Francesca will attest to this. In the first couple of years, I would sit in the front row. Um, I wouldn't even let Francis ask if there were any questions. I just put my hand up before he even asked to make sure I got the mic first, and then I would ask all my questions. I was like that for the first few years. But a couple of years later, I would just be sitting at the back of the room with my eyes closed, just listening very, very gently, not focused on what was being said. And so the reason I'm telling you this story, Catherine, is that it's different for each of us. If you're passionately interested in what's being said in each video, then watch them. If you feel you're learning every time you watch a video, you're learning some new aspect, then of course keep watching them. But at some stage, if you follow the suggestions in the conversations, the videos, or my books, or whatever, you'll begin to find this understanding in yourself. You'll have access to it. You'll recognize what is being spoken of. You won't just think it's a marvelous possibility. You'll think, yes, that is actually my experience now. I no longer need to watch a 20-minute video in order to have access to my own being. I can just close my eyes and go there.
Well, that's the point, because I am at the point I was trying to explain about a tropical beach. I don't any longer have to go inside, if you know what I mean, to access it.
Yes.
It's there when I just close my eyes, like the huge space is
Yes.
just there when I close my eyes. Now, and what I'm thinking is, my conscious awareness is not present when I'm watching videos.
It is, Catherine.
Well, perhaps it is, yeah.
It is, but it's just obscured by the exclusive focus of your attention on the video. Your conscious presence, by the way, which is not really your conscious presence, it's just conscious presence, aware presence.
Yeah.
It's like the sun. It is always present, always shining.
I didn't phrase that.
Okay,
well.
no, it's all right. I just want to make
Yeah.
The only reason I say that is I'm not arguing about semantics with you. I just want to make sure that you know that it's always there.
Yeah, I do.
Good. Okay,
It's
good.
that sort of when you're going about your daily business, I like to try and bring it to the front so that it's there with what I'm doing. The awareness is there with what I'm doing. So I'm thinking if I'm watching a video, it's probably activating thinking because I'm processing what's being said and it's activating thinking, and that's less time to be practicing actually what should be practicing.
No, but don't make what you're saying in effect is as long as I'm watching the movie, I can't see the screen. No, you can think as much as you like. When you're thinking, you say, I am thinking. The I am is your being. The fact of being aware is present there in the midst of the thinking and in between thoughts. Now, to begin with, most of us, due to the obscuring nature of thoughts, most of us get access to our being to begin with in between thoughts, when thought comes to an end, and hence the emphasis in the spiritual traditions in the early stages on the ending of thoughts. But in time, that's like having to turn off the movie in order to see the screen. After a while, you're seeing the screen all the time, whether the movie's on or not. So don't make thinking a problem. The thinking is shining with the knowing of it. That is shining with awareness. So if you need to think. It's fine. If you're watching a video or attending to your activities, whatever they are, fine. Don't make a conflict between awareness and experience. It's only in the early stages that we turn our attention away from the content of experience just to establish the presence of awareness. But in time, the conflict between awareness and objective experience ceases. We find awareness not just behind experience, but shining, first of all, in the midst of experience, and then as experience itself.
I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm
Okay,
sort
well,
of,
that's fine. That's fine. Just keep going. If you sometimes feel lost or lack of clarity, then, come to a meeting, ask a question, listen to the conversations, watch a video, read a couple of pages of a book, and these will all refine your understanding. And in time, you'll need less and less. You may continue to watch videos from time to time just for the joy of hearing understanding being formulated, like you listen to a piece of music for no reason, just for the joy of the beauty of it.
well, I find that they're on first thing in the morning and last thing at night, like constantly. I'll even go to sleep listening, thinking it will go in as I'm actually falling asleep to just try and.
Just put some pauses.
Because
Just
I'm soaking in it and I'm thinking I
okay.
might be overdoing it.
Well, if you're beginning to suspect that, there's probably some truth in it. So don't force yourself to stop, but just begin to introduce some pauses. Instead of falling asleep, listening, turn them off 10 minutes before you go to sleep and just abide. Give your attention to your being as you fall asleep, rather than give your attention to what the videos are saying. So introduce some pauses in between your binge watching of videos.